recipes. I've had more requests for just a basics video than anything else ever on my Insta stories. So today I'm going to talk you through it. So the first thing that you need to know about your Instant Pot is that it is a pressure cooker. So the way that it's able to make things so quickly and just so tender, so fast, is by steam. So this will get up to temperature. Once it reaches your temperature, it's going to go for your designated cook time. So maybe it'll take 5-10 minutes to get up to temp. Then let's say your cook time is 10 minutes, it'll cook for that amount of time, and then you're going to want to release the pressure and release the steam. So there's 3 main ways that you can release the steam. One is doing a natural release, and that's just leaving it after the cook time. The temperature will turn off and you just let it naturally release the pressure. There is an indicator valve on the top of the Instant Pot, and that float valve, when it's popped up, will tell you when there's pressure in here, when you shouldn't open it, and when the steam needs to be released. So if you see that thing up, never try to open the Instant Pot. That's probably the biggest safety feature that you need to know about for the pot. So let's say we're doing a natural release. We're gonna leave this lid on here up until that float valve goes down. Once you see it's popped down, you can go ahead and release the pressure with this valve on the top, and you're good to open. Now let's talk a little bit more before I get into the other 2 methods of releasing the steam. Let's talk a little bit more about this valve at the top. So if you're making something like yogurt, you're just gonna leave that open. You're gonna leave the seal completely open. You're not trying to use it as a pressure cooker in that instance. So we'd leave it on venting. For anything that you're wanting to cook quickly, like if I'm cooking a frozen chicken in here or a defrosted chicken, if I'm doing that, I'm gonna have it turn to sealing when I'm gonna cook. Any kind of like steaming vegetables or making oatmeal or pastas or soups, we're gonna turn it to sealing before we start the cook time. When it comes time to release the steam, we're gonna turn it and stand back, release the steam, and then once that float valve is down, then you can go ahead and turn the lid and open it. Now I mentioned there was 3 ways to release the steam and release the pressure. So we talked about our natural release, that's letting it just naturally come down in pressure until you can turn it, release anything, any extra steam, and then you can go ahead and open them. But there's also a 10-minute natural release, so that's just leaving it sit. The float valve probably is not going to be all the way down at that point, but at 10 minutes, what you're going to want to do is, I usually grab a towel, so any kind of like large cloth. I'll just throw on that towel, I'll stand back, and then I'll release the steam, and it'll release all the pressure and everything inside. Then you'll see that that float valve is down, and you know it's safe to open it up and get your food. The last method that you can do to release the steam is a quick release, and a lot of recipes call for that, and it's the fastest way to get to the food. And that would be just right away when the timer goes off, you're gonna toss over your towel, you're gonna stand back, and then you can go ahead and flip the switch. You're gonna have a lot of steam. Once it's stopped steaming, then you can go ahead and make sure the float valve is down, and then you can go ahead and open your pot and get straight into the food. Anytime that I am turning that seal valve, I always make sure that I've cleared the kitchen out, just not have any kiddos around. All the steam definitely goes straight up, but still I think it's a good practice to just kind of clear the kitchen before you do that. Another handy little tip that I have found, since the Instant Pot keeps everything sealed inside, when it's summertime, this is like my ideal thing to cook with. It's so nice, especially if you're cooking anything like broccoli, where you don't want like all of that smell to just be all over the house. Keeps everything inside, and I love to put my Instant Pot by our kitchen window, so when it comes time to release that steam, I just open the window up and let that steam outside, and it really cuts down on any kind of heating of the house or that like funky broccoli smell. A couple more basics to note on the Instant Pot. So you've got a completely, like this is a beautiful stainless steel pot that goes in the inside. You never put anything into the Instant Pot unless it's going into your stainless steel pot. Also, when you've got it cooking, the sides can get hot, so make sure, once you've got it opened, to use your handles to move it around. Don't ever pick it up while it's pressurized. I just think that'd be a recipe for disaster. So whenever you're gonna start it, make sure it's in a place that's safe, not gonna be close for little hands to touch, and where you're planning on it staying for the entire cooking process. Also something to note, there is a little fill line inside here. So we've got both a half measure and then a 2/3 max line. You don't ever want to go over the 2/3 max line with your pre-cooked food. Make sure you never fill it beyond that. You don't want anything to interfere with when you're going to release the steam or that vent. If you have foods that are more frothy, like pasta or beans, you want to keep it under that half fill line. The only thing that I've ever found that you can kind of get away with is something like a whole chicken. In my 6-quart pot, I can put a whole like 5.5 pound chicken and it cooks just fine in here with a little bit of liquid. So that's the only one that I find that kind of breaks that rule, but really it's not much above. It might have a couple pieces sticking above the 2/3 line. But just don't overfill the Instant Pot. Make sure you've got a little bit of liquid in there and follow your recipes. If you're trying to kind of experiment with new recipes, I know there's a lot of bloggers who are putting out Instant Pot recipes. Just make sure that before you ever go ahead and try to open the Instant Pot, you make sure that that sealing valve is all the way down and you've released the steam that might be left in there before you try to open it. So that's just the biggest safety thing. Other than that, I think we pretty much talked about the overview. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about some of these buttons here on the front. The button that I use most often is this one here down in the corner, Pressure Cook. This is just a super quick button that you can use for mostly anything, and you can set high pressure or low pressure. You've got less, normal, and more. You can also set your time here for how long you want it to cook. If I'm doing boiled eggs, for instance, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick 5 minutes on the pressure cook setting, and once you've got everything in and closed up, do those settings. You can stand back and it does its thing. Also, as far as the buttons here go, the yogurt button, this is amazing. The Instant Pot is fabulous for making yogurt. It keeps it at the temperature that you need. Also, it has a button up here for saute. Where is that? Right here, down on the bottom. That is so great because I can actually heat the yogurt up in this same pot using that saute button. And then once it's done and it's warm, I can let it cool a bit. And then all I have to do is put in my starter culture and press the yogurt button, and it's good to go. So this has been so amazing. If you guys want to see my yogurt recipe, then leave a comment down below, something like yogurt recipe, or let me know what you guys would like to see specific recipes on, and I can totally do that. Back to the buttons here, there's also one for rice, multigrain, porridge. There's a steaming button. Most of the time though, if I'm doing veggies, I just use the pressure cook and I put in my designated amount of time. There's also another one for soup. You've got one for meat, you've got one for beans and chili. There's even a poultry button. You can also use the Instant Pot as a slow cooker, so I really feel like it just replaces so many different kitchen appliances, and I really love that it can do so many things. Also the fact that it's a stainless steel cooking instrument, so you don't have any kind of plastic or weird like ceramic that might be coated like some of the like slow cookers and stuff can be. I think I've given you guys all the basics. If there's anything else you want to know, then just leave me a comment down below. Let's go ahead and do our first recipe in the Instant Pot. Alright, so for our first recipe, I thought let's go ahead and make pinto beans. The neat thing about making pinto beans in the Instant Pot is you don't even have to soak them. I personally do like to soak my beans typically, but I want to show you how it can be done in the Instant Pot, and our cooking time is only 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. So that's awesome. You could literally, even if you wanted to soak them, you could in the morning before you leave to work, put your pinto beans in a bowl of water, let them soak all, 8-9 hours that you're gone. When you come home, drain them, you could toss them into the pressure cooker, and they will literally take you 7 to 9 minutes. You do have the time for the machine to heat up to temperature, so maybe that's 5-10 minutes, but still, within 15-20 minutes, you've got beans completely done. Or if you didn't even remember to soak them in the morning, you can literally just pop them in dry, just as I'm gonna show you here, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour in, let's do 2 cups. We'll do 2 cups today. I'm just gonna kind of flatten them out on the bottom there, and then we're gonna add in enough water to cover. So for 2 cups of beans, this was 4 cups of water here, maybe we'll do about 6 to 8 cups. You wanna cover it and have a little bit of extra room, maybe covering it by about 1 inch. So yeah, about 6 cups is what I used for water. We'll add in a little bit of salt to our pot, and that's literally all you have to do. So let's go ahead and put on our lid. Make sure your Instant Pot is plugged in, and we'll go ahead and close the lid, and we'll also set to our steam setting with that back valve. And then we're gonna go ahead and pressure cook, and we're gonna do ours on the high pressure, and we'll go ahead and do that for 30 minutes. You can do this anywhere between 25 and 30 minutes, but I like them to be real tender. And a friend of mine told me a trick for cooking pinto beans to know if they're perfect, when you scoop them out and they're warm on the spoon, if you can blow on it and the skins kind of peel back, you know they're like perfectly cooked. So I agree with that. It makes perfect pinto beans, and it's so easy in this. So I will see you guys back here in about 30 minutes. Just so you guys can see a close up, we can see that float valve right here. It's starting to try and pop up. Once it's fully pressurized with the steam, that thing's gonna pull up, and we will know not to open it without releasing the steam. There we go. So now we know, because it's flush with the top, that thing has popped up, do not open. Okay, while this thing is cooking, I had to give you guys just a little preview of how creamy and dreamy and amazing the yogurt is that I've made in here. It is so simple to make, and it's so delicious. I've been making like yogurt bowls with fresh blackberries, a little bit of fresh like raw honey. So amazing. Let me give you a close-up. Do you see how like creamy, dreamy that looks? Yeah, that's that Instant Pot yogurt. Landon and Kaylee saw me with the yogurt and they want to have it for a snack, so. I just remembered, we also make this in not only the quart size, but like the half-gallon size because my kids love it so much. We go through a lot of it. All right, are you ready for your yogurt?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, so our timer went off about 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna go ahead and hit cancel. So it's gonna stop cooking and we're gonna do a quick release on this. So what we're gonna do now is release the steam. So like I said, make sure you've got a clear kitchen, never stand over the steam vent thing, and then you're just gonna go ahead and turn it, and here's the steam. This is what it looks like without the towel. I don't know if you guys can kind of see the steam coming out. All right, so the steam just finished and that little indicator for the pressure went down. So now we know it's okay to go ahead and twist and open it up. Now taking a look at our beans here, they look amazing and they're perfectly tender. It is crazy to me how quick this thing can make food. Like this would have taken me literally all day in the crock pot. It's just fantastic that I'm able to make food so quickly and using just natural basic ingredients. Like a whole pound of pinto beans is so cheap and you can have tacos ready to go like without even planning the night before. You're able to make it all from scratch, which is amazing. Now typically how I would season these up is with a little bit of salt. Usually I'll taste them before I season them, so let's do a little taste test. They're actually salty enough. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic. And that's basically how I would serve them. You could add a little bit of chopped cilantro, you could also add some salsa, however you want to fix them up. Super easy recipe. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see some more Instant Pot videos from me, I'm going to be making a playlist with all the recipes, so leave me your suggestions, things you would like to see me make, maybe the yogurt, maybe cooking a whole frozen chicken in the Instant Pot. Also, I did want to let you guys know, I bought my Instant Pot from Amazon and I got the 6 quart, and mine has the yogurt button. So if you want to see the exact one that I bought, then you can just look in the description, I have that link. And mine came with, you had the recipe booklet, so this has got everything for like all the beans, fruits, vegetables, rice and grains, all of those times. And then it also came with this little steamer basket. So this is what I use for like boiled eggs or steaming vegetables and stuff, and that all came in it. So didn't have to buy anything extra to use it. And now you guys are ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment down below and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Bye guys.